Hey Falcon fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Atlanta Falcons Today. We're going to jump into the latest Falcons news and rumors following what was a difficult night for Atlanta down there in Miami. Not only did they lose in the preseason, but they've also had some injury issues as well. And that's exactly where we're going to go ahead and start with the A.J. McCarron injury update. Now, we're filming this on a Sunday early morning, right? He's going to get more details later on, probably tonight or tomorrow. And so we're going off of what we know right now, but it seems very obvious, according to multiple reports, including ESPN's Adam Schefter, that A.J. McCarron's right knee injury is a significant knee injury, and he will most likely miss the remainder of the 2021 NFL season. If I'm wrong on this, then obviously we'll talk about it, but this seems to be the consensus around the National Football League. And even Arthur Smith spoke about it in his post-game press conference that it's likely that McCarron is going to go ahead and be done. Now, the MRI was going to be later today. They're going to go for the full extent, whether it's an ACL, whether it's an MCL, whether it's both. Could be a mild knee sprain, but I doubt it. But right now, I think many people around the league are expecting the Falcons to go ahead and look to add another quarterback. As you know, they only have two quarterbacks left on their roster. Quarterback who, of course, will start in Matt Ryan, and the backup quarterback who had some moments last night in one Feleipe Franks. Now, here with the Falcons.com on the McCarron injury. They have a good write-up on this on their website right now. Quote on your screen, Falcons quarterback A.J. McCarron will have an MRI on Sunday to determine the extent of damage to his injured right knee. The team will wait for that imaging before making declarations about his prognosis, but there's clearly cause for grave concern. McCarron got hurt in the second quarter of Saturday's 37-17 loss to the Miami Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium and did not return to the game. It's uncertain at this time whether he got hurt on a 7-yard run where he chose to fight for first down over sliding short of the sticks, or whether it came on a non-contact situation on the following play, or a combination of the two, end quote. Listen, there's no two ways around this. I feel bad for A.J. McCarron. Now, I've been harsh on A.J. McCarron. A lot of people have been harsh in the ATL. They've not liked what they've seen from the presumed backup quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. He's not been great. He wasn't that good last night as well. I think Atlanta was probably going to go out and look for a new quarterback regardless of A.J. McCarron's injury status yesterday, but I think this obviously makes them have to go ahead and do that. But from a personal, on-the-field standpoint, I feel terrible for A.J. McCarron. I mean, this is a guy who is trying to make a roster, trying to make a living, trying to stay in the National Football League, and found a good situation. I mean, everything was there for him in Atlanta, and now it seems that his year will be done. He will go on IR, and the Falcons will have to go ahead and bring somebody in. Feleipe Franks is the only other quarterback currently on this roster. He has his moments. That run on fourth down, you think about, I mean, the guy's a lot more mobile than a lot of us expected. I mean, he's a mobile guy. But is he the only quarterback you want to have on your roster besides Matt Ryan? No, I don't think so. I think they're going to have to go ahead and sign or trade for some of these quarterbacks, or one of these quarterbacks we'll talk about in just one second. Give me your thoughts on this. Will the Falcons end up trading for a quarterback? Do you think they'll sign or trade for a quarterback? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. Type T down below for trade, or go ahead and type S down below for sign. We're going to give you some options that you could trade or sign for coming up here in just a second. All right, we mentioned those options. Let's go and start with the trade options, right? This is not the full list, but this to me is the most likely list in terms of who the Falcons could go ahead and trade for if you wanted a very experienced backup. We start with number one in Gardner Minshew. We know Trevor Lawrence is going to go ahead and win that quarterback job. I mean, even though there's an open battle, we know he's going to go ahead and win that job. And so Minshew will become available, and he would be a very nice backup. I mean, way better than Feleipe Franks or A.J. McCarron ever could have been in Atlanta. Do you remember Nick Foles? I mean, the guy won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia a couple of years ago, right? You got to remember him. He beat Atlanta in the divisional round of the 2017 playoffs. He's the third-string quarterback in Chicago right now and didn't even play yesterday. Like, literally, he has no playing time. He's cost a lot, and that's the problem with a lot of these quarterbacks is their price. But you're looking at a guy in Nick Foles who, I mean, can still sling the football around, could win you some games if Matt Ryan were to go ahead and go down. Jake Fromm, remember him, named Georgia fans? I know you guys like Jake Fromm. He's a Buffalo Bill, but way down on the Buffalo Bill roster because the Bills signed Mitch Trubisky this offseason. Fromm played in the fourth quarter, a little bit of the third quarter of yesterday's win for Buffalo over the Chicago Bears, and looks very capable and very competent. I think Jake Fromm should 100% be on the radar for a possible trade. Bring him back to Georgia. He has some experience at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And finally, Teddy Bridgewater. Someone in Denver is going to go ahead and lose the quarterback job, the starting quarterback job. I think Drew Lock might be winning that one. I think the Denver Broncos want Drew Lock to win that job because they spent a high draft pick on him. Bridgewater, again, expensive to trade for, but could be an option for the Atlanta Falcons if they want to bring in an experienced backup quarterback, as it looks like I said, Drew Lock is going to go ahead and win that battle. Now, in terms of free agent quarterbacks, you can wait for someone to be cut, and that'll happen closer to the end of August. That's when the 53-man roster cuts are going to go ahead and come in. But if you want to sign somebody now, which they kind of need to do, we'll talk about that in a second to get ready for the third preseason game. Here are your options. Blake Bortles, who was the Packer until recently, because of course they were worried about Aaron Rodgers, so he was on the Packers 53-man roster. Josh Rosen, everyone loves Josh Rosen, even though he can't stay on a roster. He was let go by the San Francisco 49ers just the other week. You have Jamie Newman, the former Georgia and then Wake Forest quarterback, who was undrafted free agent out of Philadelphia, or signed by Philadelphia, didn't make it past OTAs. It was very clear he was not capable of being an NFL quarterback, but he is out there. And potentially broadcaster, because that's what you're looking at right now, Robert Griffin III, who is currently a broadcaster for ESPN, or will be this year, but still looking to play. Go ahead and sign RG3. I think he'd be a very capable backup at the same time. My question is can the Falcons wait to sign a quarterback? I don't think so. I think Atlanta has to do this Monday or Tuesday of this week. I would look for them to go out and either trade or sign for somebody quickly, because Matt Ryan's only going to play a couple of snaps. We'll talk about that in the third preseason game. You want Feleipe Franks to be the only other quarterback to dress? What do you do if he were to get hurt? So I think a signing or a trade is going to come, but we're going to have to wait and see as the Falcons have to scramble following up on the injury notification that will come out later today on A.J. McCarron's knee. Okay, before we're going to keep going here, make sure you guys check out the crazy good deal that's going on for new bettors with our friends at BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/BetFalcons. Use that promo code Falcons125. Get a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. So you put $100 down, it turns into $225 for you to use on the Falcons or use on the Braves, who are 8 straight. They won the other night. I mean, they are balling out of their mind. Atlanta United, who beat DC United just the other night, too, last night. All these teams are really good to bet on. And, of course, the Hawks are coming in just a couple of months. Get your betting mode on. Chatsports.com/BetFalcons. Use that promo code Falcons125 to go and get that 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. Okay, we mentioned the starters that didn't play last night, much to the chagrin of a lot of us in Atlanta, but there is a report and some good news that the Falcons starters are expected to play this coming weekend whenever they play in their final preseason game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on August 29th against the Cleveland Browns. Again, the fact that the starters didn't play last night is a bummer. We'll talk about that in a second, but the good news is if you're waiting on the starters to play or you want to get tickets to the Falcons' final preseason game, you will see Matt Ryan, Kyle Pitts, and Calvin Ridley likely out there for a couple of series. Now, let me ask you guys this. Would you have played the starters last night? Like where are you guys at on this? Would you have played the starters in the second preseason game? I would have, and I'll tell you why in a second. But if you would have played the starters last night, type Y down below for yes. If you would not have, then go down below and type N down below for no. Now, like I said, I would have played the starters. I would have played the starters last night for just a couple of series, even just 1 or 2 series. And my thought process in this is, not only are there a bunch of new faces, I mean, all up and down this roster, but you have a brand new head coach. I think that you want Matt Ryan and the offense to get out there and break off a little bit of the rust, right? I'm not saying Matt Ryan needs to. I think he's going to be just fine. There's no preseason last year, and I think all the players were pretty much just fine. But I do wish they would have played at least some of the starters last night. I would have given each of them at least a series, maybe 2, because yes, injuries are a thing, and we saw A.J. McCarron get hurt, and then Jalen Waddle almost got hurt last night, but I mean, injuries are a thing week 1 against Philadelphia, right? There's no guarantee you're not going to go ahead and get injured. I mean, so I would have at least played Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts should have been out there. Jamar Chase played the other night for the Cincinnati Bengals. Devontae Smith played the other night for the Philadelphia Eagles, who saw Jalen Waddle on the field, even though he had an injury scare. The rookie receivers, I think, should have been out there. I would have 100% gone out and played Kyle Pitts and given him just a couple of snaps, a couple of targets, like the Eagles did with Devontae Smith. They had 5 targets, 3 catches, 25 yards, and that was it. You get the jitters out of there, your first NFL game to the side. That way, there isn't any sort of, third down drops for Kyle Pitts. Not that I'm saying he's going to, but you never know, against Philadelphia on September 12th. But I guess the good news is all these starters are expected to play a little bit on the 29th when they take on Cleveland at Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in the ATL. All right, Ultimate for today here on Atlanta Falcons Today. I'm your host, Thomas Mott. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channels. We have plenty of great Falcons content coming up in the next couple of days and weeks. If you guys are subscribed, here's what you're going to get, right? First off, it's free. If you watch ESPN, they're barely going to talk about the Falcons on a given basis. First Take, Fox on First Things First. Atlanta doesn't get mentioned. I mean, it doesn't happen. Whereas if you follow us here and subscribe to Atlanta Falcons Today, we cover the Falcons basically every single day, and it's all we do. We don't talk about other teams. We talk about the Falcons, and it's a short, condensed 10-minute video where you guys can go ahead and just get your latest Falcon news, rumors, updates, depth charts, 50-round roster cuts, whatever it is, all at the touch of a button on your Android device, on your computer, wherever you got YouTube downloaded. That is the place to go to find us. So go down below and hit that red subscribe button. The more subscribers that we get, the more the more videos we can produce for you guys to go ahead and go out and enjoy. So again, ultimate for today here on Atlanta Falcons Today. Again, of the latest up-to-date injury update on AJ McCarron. We'll see for more stuff later on this day. But for Atlanta Falcons Today, I'm Thomas Mott as we go ahead and sign off. Guys, stay safe out there and enjoy the rest of your day.